Throughout Bakugan's 4 seasons, we have seen many super strong and amazing characters. Some are unanimously loved by the community, while others are hated. Regardless, everyone has their own preferences. For today's video, let's take a look at my own preferences, where I will be revealing my favorite Bakugan from each season, starting at Battle Brawlers and going all the way to Arc 2 of Mechtanium Surge. Season 1 has a lot of classics. Who could go wrong with just plain old Drago? Or what about Preus?
Mind if I play?
Even Hydronoid and his 2 evolutions are super huge contenders in this section. Gorham with his huge hammer that can knock down everything? Or even Cyranoid with her cool mermaid-like design and abilities. There are a lot of moments from the show to consider, and we need to think about toy design. Who is your favorite Bakugan from Season 1? And so, taking the number 1 spot for the Bakugan Battle Brawlers Season 1 is going to be Delta Dragonoid. Absolutely love this Bakugan. In my opinion, this is the best version of Drago. It is an incredible evolution. It's everything I wanted to see from like a really strong main character, like evolve in a sense, transform. I feel like this Bakugan specifically takes everything that the original OG Dragonoid had and made it even better. So you have the deployable horn, the feet are just, they look like lava and stuff. The heavy metal gimmick on it is fantastic. I'm going to pop him open here, put him on the Pyrus symbol. Oh, kind of stuck. Mine doesn't pop open easy. There we go. Alright. And just the change in eye color for me, I like the blue design here. And just the nice snake-like head. Oh, it looks so good. Absolutely love the design of this Bakugan. Even in the show, like, while Drago kept his personality and stuff, the design, like the actual dragon design of him, overall just took everything that Drago had, made it 10 times better. And I love that about it. It just looks so good. I appreciate the floppy mouth. It looks like he's biting. The horn, of course, is spring-loaded. Super big upgrade. Mine does not have any G-Power. I don't know what's up with this. I saw a couple people on Reddit recently actually talk about how their Delta Dragonoids had no G-Power. So I don't know what happened in the factories. I don't really know what went on, but yeah, Drago does not have any G-Power. Super interesting. Again, not sure why. If you do know, let me know in the comments below. I assume it's just a factory or packaging error for a lot of them. But yeah. And then I really also like how easy he is to close up. So you just close in the feet. And then like all other Dragos, the wings go in. And then closes right back up with the head right there. And boom. Just solid design. Heavy Metal's also one of my favorites. Really love it. Season 2 really took it a step forward for Bakugan and introduced a lot of new fan favorite characters. Helios and his evolutions, for example. All very, very awesome designs, each with their own uniqueness to them. Helios was also such a great rival for Drago. Who could forget it? Speaking of Drago, some argue that Neo Dragonoid is the best Dragonoid design. Obviously, I disagree, but what do you think? Who could forget Ingram with his ninja moves, which fit Shun's personality super well in the show? It was hard not to watch while they were battling. We also have the Vexos Bakugan with really neat designs like Altair and Hades, who are mechanical Bakugan. So there are a whole bunch of options and designs of Bakugan to consider. Alright, for Season 2, this one might be a little controversial. I don't know how many of you are going to agree with me, and some of you may even be surprised as much as I talk about other characters from this show. But Season 2 really ramped up the characters and their likability and all that. And so, after a very long debate, I chose Minx Elfin. So, it might come as a shock for some of you, but I really love Minx Elfin. Most of you probably know I really enjoy Viper Helios and then my Knight Percival. Absolutely love them, but I also considered how they acted in the anime when making my decision, and for me, Minx Elfin was a pretty obvious choice. So let's go ahead and pop her open, put her on the aqua symbol here, pop her open. And so when she was first introduced as just regular Elfin, I was like, okay, this is kind of cool. But when she evolved into Minx Elfin, she looked much more like her actual character. And this one right here is the anime exclusive version, so even closer to anime accurate. But I really think the face on this captures it very well. In this anime exclusive, just the light blue with the purple eyes and then the frog on top. It's really good looking. I'll leave pictures over as I'm talking about her right here. But essentially, my favorite points of Minx Elfin are its relationship to Sailor Moon and how it kind of was inspired by Sailor Moon. I've not personally watched Sailor Moon, but I really appreciate Sailor Moon's aesthetic and really like some of the character designs in that. And so seeing that kind of fade off into Elfin some was really, really cool and something I appreciate. And just her personality, how she got along with Preyas and stuff. Really like the design. Really hard to actually take a character like Preyas, the comic relief character, and do it again, I think. And I think they actually managed to do that in Season 2 with Minx Elfin and Elfin in general. They paired really well together and all that, and so I'm super happy with how the writing went for her. And then, while she's not the strongest character by any means, and I definitely think that bigger Bakugan like Knight Percival and Helios and Drago overshadow her, she is unique in her own right. Like, there are not many Bakugan that you can compare to Elfin at all, which is something I am going to stand by forever. Super awesome Bakugan, and just one of my favorites of all time. So to close her, just like this. Oh yeah, by the way, she has 540 Gs there, in case you were wondering, Japanese exclusive. And she's got the feet you close, the little pigtails you close, and then kind of just fold her up. Sometimes the hand gets stuck, you gotta watch those, but yeah, super easy. Love the design on the front, it's a little heart-shaped thing, and yeah, that's Elfin. Season 3 Gundalian Invaders was definitely not my favorite show, but it did introduce a lot of very cool toys. Called Super Assault, a lot of these Bakugan had crazy gimmicks, would light up, make sound, throw dice, and have spring-loaded shots aimed at knocking Bakugan over. At this point in the show, Drago became more humanoid and streamlined, and we got a new villain, Darak, with his dark and evil energy and color scheme. There was Aquamos, and a whole bunch of new characters with varying strengths and abilities, not to mention battle gear. Alright, so Season 3 for me was a little underwhelming, and honestly, Season 3 is very forgettable. Gundalian Invaders did not have a lot going for me, but I chose to do Leonell for the sole reason that I think his character is similar to Knight Percival, which I really love Knight Percival, but different enough, and he has an interesting backstory with being like inherently evil in the show with Rencrawler. Stuff like that, how he found Rencrawler and all that. So, super unique storyline. I'm not a huge fan of the green on him as much as I thought I would be. I wish he was more anime accurate colored, but cool nonetheless. Darkest is my favorite attribute, and so obviously I had to pick a Darkest Bakugan. But Leonell's cool. Awesome powers in the show. I'll talk about that here in a second. I'm going to pop him open. His horns are also super unique. Some of them go up, some of them go down. You got to get them just right. But here we go. And so the real big determining factor for me as to why I was like, oh yeah, Leonell is it, was actually seen kind of in the first episode with his, it might not be the first episode, but it's early on, with his Boomix gear. So put Leonell down for a minute, talk about his Boomix gear. Really, really love this battle gear. It's super awesome. Let's go ahead and pop it open. So it's a huge battle gear, like as you can see, that's a gun. That's just a straight up bazooka. And so to see Leonell with it, on is just incredible. And so watching that like initial fight where he shoots it almost like a giant sniper rifle, absolutely love that. And so it's even got its own like kickstand for it to like actually sit down. I know it's kind of hard to see on the mat here, I'll pull it up, but like he's got his own kickstand. Let's see if I can show it. Oh, he's trying to spin around. But yeah, like, let's see. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. It's kind of hard to see. I'll put this down. Hang on. There you go. Kickstand. Yeah, super neat, unique, and it just... I've said this a lot, but the Gundalian Invaders Bakugan are quite bland, but the minute you put battle gear on them, they're absolutely insane. Super awesome Bakugan. I love the strength and his rivalry with Drago a lot. And overall, just really pleased with the design on this guy. Let's go ahead and put him up. So first off, he's got... Mine's really scuffed. I'm not 100% sure what it says. It's also very, very hard to see. It either says 680 or 580, I think. Really, really difficult to tell, but it's really scuffed, so not too sure. And then, of course, the Boomix gear has 70 Gs. This is a Japanese version. So 70 Gs there, Japanese version. So to close this, it's super easy as well. You're going to flip that kickstand back, lock that in, and then all of this is just going to be pushed right in, and it'll even lock in place for you. Super easy. Line haul is a little bit more complicated. Shut the feet, and then I always close the horns because the horns are kind of strange. And then if you take his head all the way down, and then you kind of lock his wings in, kind of have to smush everything together. Oop, camera's out of focus there, but it'll lock up, and boom, that's line haul.
Season 4 Part 1, while not loved by many, was one of my personal favorites in the franchise. For starters, the show brought back Helios in a new way, which fans loved. I think it's always nice to see former enemies turn into allies, especially with Mechtanium Surge's storyline. A lot of Bakugan in this season did begin to become a more of a humanoid shape, though we did get some cool ones like Wolfurio and Talion. Bakugan like Heridian, Crowl, and Krakenoid did help a lot on this front by having a slightly less humanoid shape. Each of these Bakugan brought their own uniqueness to the show, and there was also the villain Razonoid, the evil villain who with his crazy strength and scary looking features.
This one was almost no debate for me. This one was a really easy choice, and it's Wolfurio. Chaos Wolfurio. Love this Bakugan. I think he's so cool. Maybe it's just me and a thing for like Knight Bakugan, like Lionheart, Knight Percival, all that, but I absolutely love Wolfurio. I think he's got such a cool and unique design. Not much going on in terms of the Mechtanium Surge design. He's just like a gray on silver right now. He is the heavy metal version, which is pretty cool. He does not roll well, but really where it pops in is, well, when he pops up. So obviously he's so much bigger than you think he's going to be. Super tall Bakugan, and I really love that. He's also got this crest. Comes up, kind of like Lionheart actually. Yeah, and then his feet flip out. Very cool. And yeah, not a lot of color going on, unfortunately. Not too much to say about color, but just in the show, I absolutely loved him. When he came in with the Bolderon, the relationship with Bolderon was good, but just, I feel like, especially in Mechtanium Surge, that Marucho, Shun, and Dan, their Bakugan kind of overshadowed Wolfurio and Bolderon, but they definitely had their highlights and stuff, and what really makes it for me, I think, is Wolfurio's Baku Nano, which I happen to have. It's called Lanzato. If you've not seen my video on this, I highly recommend you go and look at it. I cover the full Nano and how long it took me to get this. This is a super rare Baku Nano, and I really needed it for my collection, but the Nano itself is just cool. It detaches like that. It'll come out, and it turns into a pole arm, or a spear, and a shield. So super awesome. Let's see if it'll focus. Just trying to show Wolfurio instead. Yeah, it shows it's a shield and a spear. So let's go ahead and stick that on Wolfurio really quick. So here we have the Nano on him. It really gives him that Roman warrior type feel, and in my opinion, really changes the look and feel of the Bakugan. Like, he went from something like, oh, kind of unique to like, oh, he's like ready for battle. And I don't think a lot of Baku Nano do that. Like, a lot of them just kind of look silly on top of the Bakugan, but this really looks good. So super satisfied with how it looks. As I mentioned, 70 Gs on the Nano. It's a little hard to find the actual G power on Wolfurio. It's under this arm, which you can conveniently flip up, and 830 Gs right there. So super strong Bakugan. And yeah, really definitely one of my favorites. Love everything about Wolfurio. The design on him in the show is cool as well. I can go ahead and pull up pictures, but really just strong, powerful Bakugan. And so yeah, to close him up, we're going to go ahead and remove the Nano. So Nano can go to the side here. I'll actually put the Nano together first. So the Nano, going to close the spear piece and the shield, and they kind of just inserted themselves into each other and lock into place. So, oop, camera's out of focus again. It really wants to focus on that attribute wheel. Yeah, what the heck? Stop. Focus here. There we go. But yeah, easy. And then for Wolfurio, the easiest way I've found to close Wolfurio is flip the feet up like so. Flip the feet up. Horn goes down with the head, and then lock the head into place. And then these hands will actually like conveniently lock in under like the shoulder blades, I guess. So you can close the shoulder blades, and then the hands just kind of snap into place. That's how you close them. It's super simple.
Season 4, Part 2, in my opinion, was rough for Bakugan designs in the show, but the toy forms were actually really fun. Most Bakugan had fusions or Sky Raider combinations, allowing for them to combine together, a gimmick I really enjoyed. Though Bakugan like Skytrus and Orbium were a little freaky in the show and complicated to close in toy form, we do get a new evolution of Drago with a complete fresh design and the comical relief of Radisson and Rockstor. Who could forget these two?
Last part, Mechtanium Surge, Arc 2. This one we're kind of coming full circle. Favorite Bakugan of the series is Fusion Dragonoid. So I don't know if this one comes as a surprise to much. Honestly, the Bakugan in the show were not that great. They were very underwhelming, weird personalities, strange looking, and the one constant I think was Drago. Design-wise, he's totally different. There's a lot we can say about that, but at least he kind of looks more dragon-like in this version than maybe Titanium. Yeah, I'm gonna go and pop him open. He has a Sky Raider, so he's about to launch into the air, and let's go ahead and do a roll, kind of see what he does. Ah, he almost stuck the landing. But yeah, so he pops out like that, and then all there is the horns right there. And so these Bakugan have these things called Baku Snaps on them, which add additional G power. So I have 30 and 30, so 60, and then plus his actual G power, which is listed kind of on the side there at 890. So we're looking at 890, 900, 910, 920, 930, 940, 950. So 950 Gs. Pretty strong Bakugan. I actually really appreciate the head. It looks very eagle or bird-like, which, I mean, honestly, when you got such a fast Bakugan, it kind of makes sense you want him to be a little aerodynamic. But in the show, obviously, he was super strong and stuff. I really just like the design. I think the Sky Raider gimmick was really good. Feet are obviously super big. It's part of the whole point, making a launch into the air. But I don't know. The ending was a little bit meh, but the Bakugan itself was super cool. And I think definitely like an upgrade from things like Lumino Dragonoid or Helix Dragonoid, even Titanium. I know Titanium's loved by a lot, but in my opinion, Fusion Dragonoid's really good and definitely up there for consideration. And so, yeah. So to close him, I found the easiest way is to close the horns. Lock him down like that. And then the arms go in, and then you kind of trap them with the wings, and then the feet come in and lock together. And that's how you close Fusion Dragonoid.
And that is my favorite Bakugan from each season. In the comments below, let me know who your favorite Bakugan characters were from each season. Also, if you enjoy this video, don't forget to leave a like, drop a comment, and smash that subscribe button. And with that, my name is Jesse, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.